Let's take an American community, a nice American community, and pop this big bowl over the whole thing so nobody can get out and nobody can get in. And let's see what happens. My feeling about Under the Dome is that when people come, I would like them to be, first of all, fascinated by the situation. I love stories about ordinary people in extraordinary situations, to see how some people will rise to that situation and some people will crumble. We're all under the dome because so far as we know, this little tiny blue world is all we've got. There's nowhere else to go. You can go to Mars and you can land a rover on there, but what it finds essentially is dirt with no microbes or anything in it. So I thought, this is what we've got, and resources are finite. Population is exploding. The environment is degrading. And if you put one little town in Maine, because Maine's what I know, if you put them under the dome, you create this perfect metaphor for everything that we're facing in the macrocosm. Here under the dome is microcosm, and our world is macrocosm. And I thought, this is terrific. You've got Dale Barbie, who's a drifter, who's caught in town, who has obviously a secret in his past, since when we meet him, he's digging a grave. Not the same as the book, but Dale Barbie is still basically the same character. His name isn't Barbie, his name is Dale Barber, and he calls himself Barbie. You've got Julia Shumway, who runs the little town newspaper. You've got Big Jim Rennie, who is this city councilman who's always been kind of a big fish in a small pond. And now, all at once, his town is on a national stage, and he's the one who's got to try and rise to the occasion. There are a lot of things that are fun to play around with. The lack of law enforcement, and then you ask yourself, if somebody, a strong man like Jim Rennie, really takes control, when does that strong leadership turn into dictatorship? So there are a lot of issues there, too. A lot of things to play around with that are fun. The one thing that TV has is time. It has all the time in the world to spread out and tell a story. And I've thought for years, I've been so behind this concept of serial TV, of stories that are able to develop the way that, say, a Dickens novel developed in the 19th century. It's exactly the same idea. It's when novels hit their stride in the 19th century, people said, we have all the space in the world, and people wrote novels like Anthony Trollope that were 4 and 5 volumes long. They were these big, thick things. And TV has that same ability to create things like Lost, like Brideshead Revisited, like Downton Abbey, and hopefully Under the Dome, where you've got the time, people come back, they get to know the characters, they get involved with the situation, and it becomes almost a part of their lives. And that's a wonderful thing. I thought that the choice, Niels Arden-Oplev, for the pilot episode of Under the Dome was actually pretty genius. He's the guy who directed the Swedish Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, and he's got a tremendous visual sense. And the other thing is, he seems to understand real people. He wanted this to have a real look to it that isn't polished and it isn't slick. He wanted it to have some rough edges, and I like that a lot. We're going to try to make this a character-driven show, but nobody's shying away from the big effects, I can tell you that. I don't want to give away any of the secrets. There's a lot of magic in this show. I want everybody to like something. Naturally, that doesn't happen, but you hope for the widest possible audience. In other words, we're not narrowcasting here. We're not trying to get people that are in their 40s, 50s, and 60s. We're not trying to get people who are 18 and 19. We like them all. We like Under the Dome to be a family fright.